Namaskar. Welcome to
Namaskar.
Bharat. Namaskar. Welcome to
Namaskar.
Bharat Voice YouTube channel. So this week we quickly do a roundup of the news. Yesterday we heard the news of Salman Rushdie being attacked by a jihadi in New
Hmm.
York. He was stabbed several times for his work on satanic verses 33 years after he wrote the book. So this sent a chilling message. Of course, we had our own Udaipur beheadings and so many 8 other cases of attacks after Nupur Sharma's statements. So we had our own problems too. And of course, so with that note, we open and now we discuss about Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu, the problem with Tamil Nadu is Hindus are being persecuted. We are now going to talk about the title Persecution of Dissenters under a Hindumisic DMK government. So, this is the topic of discussion. I would like to here share some share some screen with just a second. With some Google presentations that I made. So just go there fast. Okay, not this. Okay. I just made some presentations where I think there's some problem. I'm not able to get to it. So, what we discuss now is nearly 200 temples have been broken by the DMK government till now. Many of them really being ancient temples, more than 800-year-old temples. So these temples have been broken under the false pretext of being under encroach government land. I don't understand how can 800-year-old temples be encroachments, because the temples really outdate even the creation of the so-called independent nation. Of course, Bharatavarsha is nearly 10,000 or more years old. So that being the case, these are being broken unilaterally just for some development projects or called as some encroached government land. And while this is being done, the churches and the mazars, mind you, there are several mazars right in the middle of the road in Tamil Nadu too. And churches really mushroom, illegal churches mushroom all over Tamil Nadu. In fact, a whole Vajragiri hill has been completely taken over by the church, and they in fact they don't allow, the churches are placed in such a way that it impedes your way to the temple, 1500 year old Shiva Temple atop the hill. So Radha Kevarji will speak more in detail about all that. And then we have persecution of Hindu activists too, who criticize the HRNC, who criticize the DMK in their governance. They are being slapped with all kinds of false cases, and there is no freedom of expression for Hindus in Tamil Nadu. Now, the latest case here being like few days back, Kanal Kannan, a stunt master of Tamil cinema and a Hindu Munani functionary, he had made a speech. It was a long speech. He had criticized the DMK government there for their anti-Hindu activities and EVR's policies. I mean, EV Ramaswamy's anti-Hindu, anti-Brahmin policies are very well known. So he was criticizing, and in that he objected to EVR statues, whole huge statues, standing right in bang in front of the ancient Srirangam Temple and many other ancient temples of Tamil Nadu, with boards saying there is no God and whoever worships God is a goon, and whoever preaches about God is a barbarian, and whoever goes, I mean, literally calling people who have faith in Hinduism or God as barbarians and goons. I mean, it is right in front of the temple. So Kannanji just said that these statues should be broken or removed. That's what he said. Now that led to a huge furor, and he's been slapped with all kinds of draconian sections, non-bailable sections. This is not the first case. He's not the first target. We have had even Kartik Gopinath being targeted baselessly for collecting funds for renovating temples and renovating the idols, the broken idols in ancient temples. The HRNC, or the government department, manages the temples, more than 44,000 temples in Tamil Nadu. It controls the temples, but the temples are in ruins. Many of the idols are broken, so he collected money funds to renovate. The HRNC slapped baseless case on him, and I mean fraud case, just because he was collecting money and the money was still safe. He had not even spent any spent any money from that collected funds, 40 lakh rupees. Yet they slapped really baseless case on him, fabricated case of fraud on him. He was harassed just because he is a YouTuber and often exposes the HRNC's bad bad management, and even aiding, sort of looking the just brushing under the carpet of idol thefts and misappropriation of temple lands and so many other issues. So he is being targeted for that. And then of course they targeted Kishore Swami too. Kishore Swami again is an Hindu activist. He criticized Anna Durai and M. Karunanidhi and MK Stalin. He was slapped. You wouldn't imagine he was put under the draconian Gunda Act. Literally, there is no bail. Literally, you can be in the jail. I mean, just rot in the jail for months together or years together before you get a bail. And literally, he spent 2.5 to 3 months last year just for criticism. And there was no mainstream media carried that news. There was no furor. Otherwise, any nondescript person who even asked, or people who asked for literally breaking away of this country into so many pieces, that is called as freedom of expression. And there is a huge furor if they are charged, if Maoists are charged, or jihadi terrorists or jihadi supporters are charged. I mean, the whole media, there's a big brouhaha. So to discuss this, literally Hindus have no human rights in Tamil Nadu as such now. That is the case. So we have with us Radha Tevarji to discuss the matter. Welcome, Radha Tevarji, and please go ahead and discuss.
Namaste, Gayatri. So thanks for calling me one more time here. So actually, what you were telling, it's 100% true. So there is a fear, among the public also to not, criticize or talk about this present DMK government, especially with the Hindus. If you talk about them, or if you just criticize them, or if you just post something against them, so then they start, the IT wing of DMK start, looking at it, and they start, taking those numbers, those IDs and everything, and they start, and they, complain to the police, and then the police is on your doorstep. So this is what is happening. So of course they are threatening Hindus. In fact, this is not happening for the minority religion, whether it's Muslims or Christians. There are enough number of examples that we have seen where the Muslims and Christians have been continuously, targeting Hinduism and then Hindus and talking badly ill about us. And, you know, to an extent, so it becomes so derogatory. It is very difficult to even digest what they talk about. So that's how they go to that extent. For example, you have this Christian fathers or pastors, in
Hmm.
Tamil Nadu, who keep talking about us, who keep talking about, like, Rama, Sita, Krishna, or any god of Hinduism, and they talk about, like, Sanatana Dharma, and they say, like, this is, like, we have caste system, and this is a very bad, kind of a religion that you have, and so many things. Not only that, they openly say that, they are the people who have brought in DMK to the power. And in
Hmm.
fact, one father went to the extent of telling it is we who have actually, gave this post to Mr. Stalin. Okay, so it's literally like, so we have actually gave it to Mr. Stalin to serve us. And recently, one more Islamic, party person has told it is we who have, helped when Stalin came begging to us, for
Hmm.
asking for support, and we are the people who have voted him to power, and he is supposed to support us and help us. So he is mainly for us. So this is the kind of a fight between Christians and Muslims going on, where they are trying to say that, DMK government has been formed by them. So none of the Muslim Hindus are talking about it. Okay, so that we have voted for it. Majority of people are here Hindus. So
Yeah.
only Muslim Christian vote, is not going to help them to come to power. Definitely not. So this is on the one side. The other side, if you look at it, though these people say recently we have YouTubers, so who have been, spewing venom on Hinduism,
Hmm.
and even Mr. Edilan, one of the minister of DMK, he has been criticizing about Parvati, Shiva, Ganapati, all the gods and our custom and everything in the public. He is a minister now. He has been voted as an MLA, and he's a minister. But none of them even spoke against him. None of them, even the chief minister did not call him and say, "Don't talk like this." So he has never even, try to, pull his, people, and then say that, please don't talk about any religion. They haven't done. And there is one more guy called as Prasanna. His only job is to criticize, Hinduism and Hindus. And there is one father, Kaspar, Jagat Kaspar. He
Yes.
keeps talking about Hinduism in all the forums. And the chief minister himself, he goes to the functions of other religious people, like, he goes to, a Muslim gathering or a Christian gathering, and there he talks about, Hinduism. So they, in fact, they have even criticized about our way of, marriage also. So they said,
Hmm.
like, the mantra that is being told is something very, very obscene. This is a word that he has used, and he has even, given some different meaning to that. Where the girls are being, girls are being first, donated to the gods. First, the gods will take the bride, the brides first, and then only it is, given to the
Hmm.
husbands. Okay, so that's how, like, so they have multiple husbands. So that's the meaning of the whole mantra. So this is how the chief minister himself spoke. And lesser said than Mr. Kanimori, who's an MP. So she has also gone on stage, and she has told, like, why Lord Tirupati, why he has, a security person standing near the hundi, because, he cannot, protect his own hundi. How can he protect the Hindus? She went onto the stage and she spoke about it. So you talk about any person, any person from DMK, whether they are ministers or MLAs, or even a small, a DMK personal in the party. They all talk about, Hinduism, and they spew venom at Hinduism. So this is how they have been brought up. This Dravida Karagam, or DK, from where this DMK has born. Okay, so has come out. So Dravida Karagam is, again, if you look at it, like, it's a party or a trust, you might call us. All the people in that, they talk about only Hinduism, and they talk, they talk against Hinduism. But all these people have never even said a single word against any of the other religion, whether it is Christianity or Islam. They haven't spoken even a single thing about them. They have not condemned, or even, try to, advise those people not to talk against Hinduism. So this is what is happening right now in Tamil Nadu. The other side, talking about the destruction of the temples. Of course, there is a court order. Corporation has it. But what we want to ask the government is, who gave the permission? You gave the permission, and now you want to, destroy it. So you should not have given a permission. So all these years, you are the people who were ruling this place, nobody else. And you are the people who gave permission. Without permission, how the people would have built a temple there? Okay, fine, they have built a temple. and you keep going and destroying this temple. You should have spoken to the local people. You should have asked, told them, you should at least have pacified them. They could have at least given some different land. Why don't you, build in that? They haven't told anything like that, and they've just like that gone and they bulldozed all these temples. But they haven't bulldozed a
Rather,
single
many of them are ancient temples, more than 100 years old.
300,
So
100
how
years or
can,
temple are there. So,
yeah.
but they haven't touched a single church or a single mosque or whatever it is called as. They haven't even touched a single one. Even they are on the roads, but they haven't touched.
Absolutely.
In fact, recently they went to bulldoze. I think it's a small mosque or I don't know where they pray. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but all the Muslims gathered there and they couldn't
Mm.
even touch it. They came back and still it is there. They have not done anything to that. So when it is a Muslim, but recently in another place, they came to bulldoze a 300-year-old temple, and when
Mm.
all the people gathered there, they didn't even listen to the Hindus. They went on to bulldoze it, right? So this is the kind of an attitude they are showing towards. As you said, Acharapakam. There is one more. It's not
Mm-hmm.
Vajragiri, Acharapakam, where the whole forest area, and it is a big hillock, has been taken by the. I have visited there by the churches, and it is one father who has built. I mean, church. He has built multiple churches, multiple buildings in that, and nobody has even questioned it. How can they own a place which is government place? The government has not even questioned them. In fact, they have built. There is a very old, ancient, 3,000-year-old Shiva temple near a hill.
Mm.
On top of it, there is a Shiva temple. The next hillock they have taken. These people, these Christian people have taken, and they have started, building so many things, in this hill, and people have started looking at, and they have started creating problems for the ancient temple also. They are not allowing people to go to the temple. They break the tube lights and everything which which is on the pathway to the temple and all those things. Now the temple, the Hindu Munani and outfit is now fighting with these people also, but government is not taking any action against them. So this is the reason one not even 50 years, 60 years old, hardly it will be 30 years old church. Why are they allowing it in a forest area when forest area is all under the government? So if a temple is built, immediately they will go and question them. They have, as you said, like they are destroying very old temples also, but they have not told anything. Similar situation I can talk about in Madurai. We have this Tirupparangundram temple. It's a Murugan temple. It's one of the six temples of Lord Kartikeya. We have it in
Mm.
Tamil Nadu. And if you go to Tirupparankunram, there is a hill nearby, and you have to
Mm.
go to top for a Shiva temple. In the
Mm.
middle, you will see a Sikandar mosque.
Oh my God.
So still it is there. So since the Hindus are going on top to the Hindu temple, they wantedly brought in, it's not even a mosque actually, so it's a graveyard that they have. I'm not sure what they call in the Islamic culture. Usually they have a tomb, and then they
Mhm.
start praying there. So it's a tomb that they have created, a fake tomb they have
And
created, and they have started saying that this hillock belongs to us. And Hindus are still fighting for it. None of the government has not told even a single thing about it. And there has been so many protests, so many fights. They are only arresting the Hindus and not touching the tomb at all. And
mm.
still it is there. You go there, you can visit and you will see. So you get irritated, and so you get frustrated about the entire thing. See, let the DMK government do whatever they want, but why are they even touching on the our religion? Who gave them the permission? Who gave them this this kind of a leverage to keep on not only criticizing? The way that they talk about the religion is absolute nonsense, and it's so obscene words that they use. So it is actually making us frustrated, people who are worried about it. And there are other Hindus, so-called secular Hindus, who don't want to comment anything about. Of course there is a fear factor to it, because that kind of arrest. If you look at Kanal Kannan, one of a very active Hindu activist, if you look at it in Tamil Nadu,
Mm.
and he just said like we have to remove that
It's
statue of
statues.
Ivera, yeah, EVR. If you have to remove it, that's the day that Hindus will become free of this Dravidian culture. So that's a word that he.
Absolutely.
The what is there wrong in that?
There's
You know,
nothing wrong.
there's
Nothing
nothing
wrong.
against Next, see, for building, so for keeping a statue in front of a temple, we have to actually, arrest the Dravidian parties, not him.
Absolutely.
So he has expressed his concern, and he has told that's the day that Hindus will become free, or would have obtained freedom in Tamil Nadu. For that, they are, they have stacked a case against him. The same happened for Kishore Swami. Or there are many people whom we have not mentioned here. Many people, Hindu activists who have been arrested without any notice. Even a lady, is in, she one of the PKP functionary, a lady, she is still in prison. She has been arrested in Madurai. And there is one more, there are two, three guys whom I know. All of them, they just have to post anywhere in a social media, or they would have said a word against them in any of the meetings. Immediately, the police comes and knocks at your door. Now, what is the kind of a democracy that we have? So they were talking about freedom of expression, but where is the freedom of expression here? We can't
Absolutely.
talk a single thing against the leaders. We can't talk a single thing against these people who are actually criticizing us. And you talk about anybody, immediately they arrest. So people have been warning me also, don't be so active in social media, because the police comes immediately to your house. So anyway, so whenever they come, let them come. That's a different case altogether. I don't even want to think about it. We can face it. That's not an issue. But how many of us will be like that? How many of
Mm,
us can, I think, Hindus have to wake up in Tamil Nadu. I don't think so any other solution is available in Tamil Nadu except for Hindus to wake up. There is nothing secular about this. So
absolutely.
if openly, if the Christians and Muslims can claim that this government is formed by them, what are we Hindus sitting and doing here who have voted
Absolutely.
for him? Majority are Hindus who have voted. And what are we? So don't we have some kind of a self-respect? So actually, for me, it is like, my blood boils when I hear about all this. But we don't have
And
an option.
Radhaji, recently, I think the DMK speaker, I mean, the assembly speaker himself said that their government came into being because of the Christians, and it is because the Christians prayed and all that, and the government is only for Christians and the church can do anything they want. I mean, he said that, gave a blank
Even the
check.
speaker Mr. Apavo, so he is a speaker, he is a Christian. In a church function, he is telling that we are the people here. So our government is for you. We will do anything for you. We are at your mercy. These are the words that a speaker has told in a Christian function. Don't I have never seen like this in any of the states in India, where the CM and the ministers and the power, the big leaders of any party coming out and saying, like, it is the Christians and the Muslims who have voted us, and we are the slaves. These people are agreeing we are servants to them. We are servants to them. We will do what you are asking for. And one of them, one of the minister, okay, so he's still here. So when he went to a temple, and the temple people asked for a help, what is the word that he told? He said, you did not vote for us, why should we do for you? Okay, he used the same word, and the temple people, like, so they were like aghast. How did he know that the Hindus have not voted for us? And then why should we do anything for you people who are Hindu? I mean, actually, it's a Brahmin group, the priest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why should we? The same thing happened for Jains. When the Jains went for a problem, they said, Jains have not, Mawaris and Jains have not voted for us. Why should we do anything for you? In a function where the Jains and Mawaris conducted, and the minister was called, the minister spoke the same words to them. You have not voted for us. Why should we do anything for you? Why should we support you? As if they are only ministers for Christians and Muslims, they are talking about it.
Absolutely.
So this is
Absolutely.
absolute nonsense that we are seeing. And after so many years, we could see that, where is Tamil Nadu heading to? So is it getting like, so are we being ruled by the Christians and Muslims? I mean, it makes me feel like that we are going back to 300 years old. I mean, we are going 300 years back, where the
Hello. I think we lost Radhaji. 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 Yeah. Radhaji, I think we've lost her. Radha, hello. I think we've lost connection with her. And see, she put forward how Hindus have been completely marginalized in Tamil Nadu, and literally, like Hindus have been marginalized in Tamil Nadu, and literally how they are facing the onslaught of the completely harassed and onslaught against them by the Christian, pro Christian, and it's not just pro, it is anti Hindu. Yeah,
So
I
that's
think we
so,
lost you for
yeah,
some
yeah, we
time
lost
as
it.
well.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I lost the signal. So this is how the situations are really bad for Hindus. So of course they are telling that we are recently there's one more thing that happened, like they have brought in uh, uh, a law kind of a thing, like where they say they are going to take all the jewelries from the
yeah,
temples, and so they are going to you know uh,
melt it
make
and
it into melt
2,000
it
kilo.
and make it into a blocks, and then they are going to keep it in the banks, and they are going to get the money out of it, and they all those things. Now, so I'm not sure, like how much we are going to lose in those jewelries and
Yeah,
everything.
it's
When the
completely
party
okay.
enters,
And
I,
Radhaji, they have already siphoned off 10,000 kilos of gold, temple gold. That is a statement given by the government officer, I mean, lawyer to the court. I mean, just few months back, last year it happened, they said that and they hardly get any interest out of it. I don't know what they get. I mean, with this kind of gold, if they have melted so much of gold and deposited it in fixed accounts, as they say, fixed deposit and all those things, they should be getting crores of rupees as interest, and they should be managing the temples well. But now they're saying they have no funds, and so they are
true, true.
melting more. So we really don't know what's happening. They're siphoning off the wealth of the temple. Yes.
So these are the issues, like we are facing, and we need to wait and watch 2024. We have to see, like so if DMK is going to get a majority of seat, then it is going to get worse, of course. So
Absolutely.
people who have some kind of a self-respect, and um, Hindus, active Hindus, I would say, rather, like definitely we will be in trouble. That's for sure. And
Yeah.
so now Hindus have to wake up. That's the only thing that I can talk
Yeah.
about. Like we need to wake
And
up.
Radhaji, I would like to know ki why did BJP not do till now? Only recently in the municipal elections they fought uh, away from these Dravidian parties. Because if you frankly ask me, I feel both the Dravidian parties are just two sides of the same coin,
True, true,
nothing big.
true.
I mean,
Absolutely
not
right.
so. So it is high time we have BJP fighting alone, because otherwise they would be, and with Annamalai coming in and sort of really enthusing the whole place, and even Uma Anandanji now being elected in Chennai Corporation. I think it is a record. She stormed the Dravidian fort, that fortress that you call anti-Hindu politics. So why do Hindus still vote for these Dravidian parties? Why is that so?
Because see, Tamil Nadu is a different game altogether. If you look at it, we have been ruled by the Dravidian parties for very long, right? So if you look at it, 80 almost 80% we are Hindus here, and we have the most number of temples also here. And
Hmm.
most of them, personally, if you take all of them, they are all very spiritual and religious, and any ceremony or any function, so you will see that they do it with all the guts. Okay, so that's how it happens. The problem here is, like when it comes, even if you talk about Stalin, though he's he says that he's an atheist and all those stuff, his wife goes to all the temple,
Yeah.
his family culture. So almost all the ministers, they will say they are atheists, but they are the people who go to temple, they pray, they do all pujas, they are like that. So this is how they are. If you look at it, they are cheating the people also, right? So they say, like so I don't pray, but my wife is there. So what happens is, any newspaper you take, the Stalin's wife Durga will be there in a temple,
Hmm.
praying to God, and his other family members will be in the temple. So what happens here is, okay, so they are all religious, so whatever they are doing is right. So it is not that the entire family is atheist. So here it is accepted actually, so but and the Dravidian ideology has seeped in so much, people don't even see the other side of it. How dangerous it's going, but nobody is aware of it. They think, so
Mm.
these people have come and they are educated. So, and another thing about Tamil Nadu is, it is not a poor state, right? People are
Yeah.
comfortable here, and we have high literacy rate. We have, economy is good, so the state is good. We have multiple options here, so almost, there is a good. It's a state, so which is much more better than any of the other state. So this
Mm.
also gives a kind of a laziness, or we say like, what are they going to do? So they're just talking. Why should we even bother about it? So we'll just move away from them. We'll do whatever we want. Let them talk about it. They're not as bad as the what we think. So this is the kind of all the Dravidian party people. I mean, I'm talking about the party cadres. Nobody is atheist here. Most of them are temple goers and are religious. Okay, there's no doubt about it. So they think that they are separating religion from politics, and they think, though they are atheist, they are safe in their hands. Or there has been something that is created by the Dravidian parties, the Aryan Dravidian division, and that
Yeah.
Hindi will come in, North Indians will come in, the Aryans will start ruling us. So there has been consistent lie that has been told to the people, and it has been built that so you will be the Tamil culture will be destroyed, the Tamilians will lose their identity, Tamil will be destroyed. So they have built that, so over a period of time, they have, poisoned the mind of the people, saying that, Tamil identity will be lost. Okay, if you leave, if you allow the, central government or the North Indians to interfere in our matters. And they have been told that, we have, of course, as a Tamilian, I'm proud of it. There is no doubt
Yeah.
about it. But I don't have to show that every time. So India as a country, I'm proud of Indian. I'm proud as an Indian. I'm proud as a Tamilian. Okay, I have both identities. It is not that,
Absolutely.
I'm a Tamilian as an identity. But these people have poisoned here, stating, talking about this Aryan Dravidian division, which is another problem that we are facing, where we have to tell the people there is not no such thing happened, and these people have built it with the help of the British. The DK
Yeah.
party has built it along with the British. So it is there is no evidence for all these things, but it will take some time for the people to accept it and to come out of it. Of course, I think Modi ji is doing a good job by quoting Tamil as an ancient language and quoting Tirukural everywhere, wherever. So that gives a kind of a sense of belongingness now. So things are changing. People have started understanding that so there is no threat for us. There is no threat to our identity. There is no threat to our culture. There is no threat to our language. So I think things will change another 20
And
years or so.
Radhaji, there is a danger also, as you mentioned, Gaspard. It just reminded me behind the Starlight so-called protest was this Gaspard and the whole church lobby. It saw to
Obviously.
it that copper production is completely finished off there by simply, and now we are copper deficit. Earlier we used to export copper when Starlight was working. Now we import copper from China. I mean, we now see
That
who
happened in
actually,
Sterlite. It's not Sterlite. Sterlite, you're talking about Thoothukudi Sterlite. But
yeah,
I think all of us have forgotten one more thing. There was one IAS officer called as Uma Shankar. Okay, and
mm-hmm,
he later
yeah,
on went to become pastor. Okay, and
yeah,
in Kudankulam, we have our nuclear power plant, right? So he was the
mm,
one who started, fighting against it. He started
mm,
bringing in so many people, and there was a lot of funding done by the European countries for this.
yeah,
European
mm,
churches have funded it, and there are a lot of evidence for that. And there's
yeah,
one more guy, a communist guy also, who joined with him, a father who joined, a Christian who joined. So, and this Umashan, all of these people together, they started fighting again. They never allowed that, nuclear plant to work at all here. So we were
yeah,
facing a lot of issues at that point of time.
yeah,
So being, wanting, electricity and power, if these nuclear plants have, worked properly or operated
mm,
properly, Tamil Nadu would have had a better, power
absolutely,
supply and everything. So wherever something is coming up, the Christians are up there because they
absolutely.
don't want development. Because
I
if you
think that
become
was a French project, and we had the US lobby literally, I mean, doing this
actually, in
mischief.
that case, it was the European churches who
Okay.
meddled with us. In fact, if you look at it, see, Christians never want development in India, to be frank.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah,
once you are developed, you will start asking questions, and you will
absolutely.
asking questions about their religion, about all the absurdity in the religion. So until till you are an illiterate, till you don't have a mind of your own, they can rule us. So they
Yeah,
never allow us to become developed. So industries come and the roads are laid, and the whole country develops. What is their work here? They don't have any role to play here, right? So in all
absolutely.
the American countries and the European countries, Christianity is failing because they have
Absolutely.
developed and they have started questioning the churches. So because of
Absolutely.
that, they couldn't do any politics there. India is a developing country, so they are fooling us here. They are trying to
Absolutely.
fool us around here. So that's the work that they are doing. So that's why they are stopping or stalling any kind of development in any of the states.
Absolutely.
So that's my
And
opinion.
even the church system in Salem recently, I think last year, there was a huge protest because the archbishops who are being appointed by the Vatican, and they are
Obviously,
not of the Dalit community. So the
of course.
Dalits were,
They are
I mean,
against the Dalit. There is a lot of caste problems, with the Dalits and everything. That is also happening. Now they are also fighting. I think there are some protests going on across India that Dalits also, I mean, Christian Dalits should be given the status of Dalit. I think, we should not,
no,
give
we
that.
should not. We should not.
In
Once
Delhi,
they
there
come
was a
back.
protest. In Delhi, there was a protest recently on that. I think, we
Yeah.
should actually, not oblige to their request.
No, we should
So,
not, because they convert saying that there is caste system and there is
uh,
no caste system in
yeah,
Christianity. That is the basis of conversion. So once
right,
you
right,
convert, where is the caste? I mean, so-called caste. I mean, if there is
absolutely.
no so-called caste there, I mean, this is
Right, right.
complete humbug. So we should never accept this. In fact, we should move towards doing away with reservation if possible and come to a more inclusive and enabling system to help people literally
Absolutely.
come
I
up,
agree.
because that doesn't create dissensions or hatred within society. So
Yeah.
that should be the move. And Radhaji, really wonderful speech here, and I hope that Hindus really come out on the streets and start protesting and start, and as you said earlier, the DMK says, or they claim to be very rational and keep the religion away from, apart from the state administration. That is not so. They are interfering in our temples. They are interfering
Absolutely.
in our
Right.
rituals. So how are they doing that? I mean, that is wrong. They don't do such things in mosques. They don't do such things in churches. I didn't see them interfering, when the Dalits asked to be the archbishop, right? Yeah,
Correct.
no
Right.
government came there. I mean, DMK government didn't interfere, right? Whereas
Hmm.
they say they come into our temples and they say who would be the
Sure.
priest, right? So there is a problem, and I hope that Hindus really
Yeah.
come forward and do activism.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
so much
So thank you
thanks
very much
for
for
coming.
calling me for this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. Namaskar. Really a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to have you with us and
So thanks a
discuss on
lot.
this important
So thank
issue.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaskar. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Sure. Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.